Irving powered into 2018 with a lot of momentum. Several highly anticipated projects were completed and the community celebrated, looking to the future. But we also looked back to honor our heritage. So in the spirit of celebration, let's take a look at some of Irving's biggest moments and brightest stars in the Best of About Towne 2018. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to our annual recap of our favorite stories of the year. There was a new fan event at the Irving Convention Center that celebrated everything Dragon Ball Z. Susan Stevens attended the very first KamehamehaCon and says that it definitely won't be the last.
It's the first convention of its kind in the DFW area. Dragon Ball Z fans united for KamehamehaCon here at the Irving Convention Center.
KamehamehaCon brought together fans from all over the world.
We came from all the way from Alabama. We drove through the night to get here and pretty tired, but you know, we're having a good time out here.
So many people here from so far. Someone's here from Barcelona.
Some fans came dressed as their favorite characters.
Piccolo, he's basically a protector of the Earth. He used to be a bad guy back in Dragon Ball. He's one of the coolest characters, not the most powerful, but he always seems to kind of stick with the crew, no matter how powerful they get.
Beerus is actually a male character, and he is a god of destruction. So I just kind of I have this Napoleon kind of complex with myself where it's I'm so small and weak, but when I cosplay, I can be so powerful.
While others came to work.
We sell everything from airsoft, cosplay, real swords, pocket knives, wands.
We have the Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb energy drinks. It's all the energy in the universe down in this little can right here. It comes in blueberry flavor.
It kind of sucks that I'm working because I really want to walk around. But I mean, I got to do what I got to do.
But they all share the same passion.
I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. I've been a fan my whole life. You know, I watched the cartoon as a kid growing up, after school every day.
I grew up with Dragon Ball Z. I was drawing Dragon Ball Z pictures when I was in 7th and 8th grade back in '98.
I love it just because it's such good vibes, just happy vibes, and you can do anything, and every episode's just kind of you just have to believe in yourself. Friendship is power.
I've been watching for 25 years. Yeah, I remember being a kid and we go to these old Chinese video stores where you have to rent 30 videos, whatnot, but I'd always remember seeing their posters and be Dragon Ball Z.
Excitement levels at the con only went up as Dragon Ball Z lovers lined up to meet and greet with the show's voice actors. Whether you were there to see the stars or buy the merchandise, there was plenty of reasons to attend.
Because it's fun. Why shouldn't people come out here? It's different, it's fun.
A lot of camaraderie, it's something that we all enjoy. We're all brought together by Dragon Ball Z.
Even if you're not even a fan of Dragon Ball, it's such a good environment to be in.
KamehamehaCon supplied an endless amount of anime entertainment. For About Towne, this is Susan Kamyab.
Mad River Theater Works returned to Irving for a theatrical production based on the true story of the Freedom Riders. Here's another look at a very special evening commemorating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Freedom Riders is the newest Mad River Theater Works play. It explores one of the most critical chapters in the history of the civil rights movement.
The show, it's a wonderful piece of work that showcases the fact that you don't have to have a particular title or a certain amount of money to make a change in this world. You see something is wrong and you get with other people who also see the same wrongs and you do something about it. It takes place in 1961, of course, during the Freedom Rides time of the civil rights movement.
There's an effort. We work through CORE, we work through SNCC and other government officials, trying to right what we feel like some of the societal wrongs were of the time, to give everyone equal opportunities where they ate at, where they had their entertainment at. Just trying to bring everyone together as one, pretty much some of the same things that we face today.
The Irving Parks and Recreation and the Irving Arts Center hosted the play in celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And our own Cathy Whiteman was there to present the show.
And they are bringing us a story today about the Freedom Riders. Please welcome back to Irving, Mad River Theater Works.
Freedom Riders reflects on how even after the United States Supreme Court had outlawed segregation, bus lines in cities still enforced the crooked system of separating black and white citizens. So, freedom riders, both white and black, decided to travel together on buses that crossed state lines purposefully, disregarding the hateful segregation.
The story needs to be told. There are a lot of people who know of the story, but we bring it to younger audiences and it just opens up another world for them. You know, it's important that they know the conveniences that they have today, they were always not in place. People had to struggle and fight for those conveniences of today.
But audiences didn't just get to see a performance about the Freedom Riders. William Harbour, an original Freedom Rider, was there to see the show and discuss his experiences.
And I was one of the students that was on the bus that went throughout the South on the Freedom Ride. And the trip was planned from Washington, D.C. to New Orleans. So we got into Mississippi. We left for Montgomery, got into Mississippi, and went straight to jail. Put us in jail. And I'd already been in jail over 10 times, I said. And the judge gave us a $200 fine, 6 to 7 days in jail. We refused to pay the fine. And I spent 49 days in prison. I mean, real prison, not no little bitty prison, not just a regular jailhouse, but 49 days in prison. And I was they let me out. Well, they paid my fine so I can get out and be one of the test cases. Go back to court. We did go back to court against the state of Mississippi and won our case.
The production of Freedom Riders portrayed a significant moment in history, and it's a story the cast hopes audiences won't forget.
We all hear that in order for us not to repeat history, we have to remind ourselves of where we've been. And unfortunately, we are in a time where we're still repeating history in a sense. And I think it's very important for the people that are coming up, the young people, to hear these stories.
People take away the numbing reality of the suffering that these people went through and how it affected not just them, but their families.
My greatest hope is that everyone walks away with a sense of unity because we are all in this thing together.
Freedom Riders reminds us that any individual has the capability to make a difference in society. For About Towne, this is Susan Comyard.
In conjunction with the theatrical production, the Irving Arts Center and the Irving Black Arts Council hosted the exhibit This Light of Ours. The traveling exhibit was organized by the Center for Documentary Expression and Art. Angela Lang brought us the story.
They are powerful, they are poignant. They are the photographs that make up This Light of Ours, an exhibition that tells the story of the Southern freedom movement through the eyes of young activists.
This is an unusual, in some ways, look at the movement because it's a look at the movement activities that were occurring on a grassroots level. Much of this was invisible to the major media.
The photos document the activities of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, or SNCC, in the early 1960s.
A great deal of it has to do with the movement's private moments. And SNCC operated in the back roads of Mississippi, in the back roads of Alabama. And their entire effort, their organizing effort, largely dealt with long-term relationships with people in communities.
Dr. Leslie Kellen, executive director of the Center for Documentary Expression and Art, helped assemble the exhibition, which is on display now at the Irving Arts Center through March 4th. The photos were taken by 9 activist photographers, most of whom were members of SNCC.
They simply put their bodies on the line too in critical moments and became a part of the effort to communicate what was going on.
The exhibition divides the movement into 4 parts: Black Life, Organizing for Freedom 1 and 2, State and Local Terror, and the Meredith March Against Fear and Black Power. The photos include captions and 2 audio guides, one for children and one for adults, featuring interviews from the photographers that provide a deeper understanding of the time.
I've seen lots of exhibits where the photographs are thought to be the entire message, but we wanted to build a narrative that is embedded in the photographs and to allow people to really spend time and learn what happened.
Kellen calls it a celebration of the youth of the civil rights movement.
To me, the exhibit speaks on many levels, but that's sort of at the core, that's at the heart of it, in terms of how to fight well, how to fight successfully, how to come together with people and be effective. Really, that's at the heart. There is a lot of beauty here, besides the struggle, and also the capacity, the strength of the photographers to capture these moments. So all of that is here.
For About Towne, I'm Angela Lang.
Irving's libraries have a reputation for bringing together the nation's best emerging authors with their fans. The Hope Nation book launch was another feather in their impressive cap. Here's a look.
As the crowd starts gathering for another Irving Public Library author event, staff can already tell it's time for more chairs and more books.
Whatever Texas librarians set out to do, they do, and they do very, very well, in my experience. And Texas readers reflect that in many ways.
Today's standing room only turnout reflects that. It's a not-to-be-missed opportunity to hear Carter, 2 more best-selling authors, and the editor of the new young adult anthology, Hope Nation.
These amazing ladies don't really need a whole lot of introduction, but...
The book features 24 acclaimed authors sharing very personal stories.
I kept coming back to my senior year of high school. The week I was graduating, my family lost our home, and any possible plans that I had for the future were completely out the window.
There's a lot of people from my hometown who are really struggling, and there's not a lot of money here, and there aren't a lot of jobs here, and how does anybody from here, aspire to more?
The book has all kinds of stories, stories of family loss and abuse and trying to find your voice as a writer. Really, it runs the gamut.
Dr. Brock asked each author to share their story and what it took to move on. Julie Murphy says there was one universal element.
I think that regardless of that, we can all agree that, whatever it is that you're fighting for, there's nothing worth fighting for if you don't have hope.
My essay was about the fact that over the past year, I've met amazing young people who give me more hope for tomorrow than I had yesterday.
Dr. Brock says she designed the book to give that message of hope to teens and young adults.
Any kid from any background would see authors like them and be able to hopefully connect with their story. I think the stories are universal. I don't think it's one kind of story fits one certain kind of kid, but I wanted to make sure that those authors also were representative of our nation.
This is Cathy Whiteman reporting.
Irving's libraries are also known for their innovative, crowd-pleasing programs. When the Fort Worth Zoo visited West Irving Library, it was standing room only for all the creatures on 2 legs, more legs, or no legs.
So that's all really cool.
Things are getting wild at the West Irving Library.
We're here to introduce people to these animals and bring some of the zoo to you.
The Fort Worth Zoo brought out some unique animals.
We brought a big variety, so we've got some birds, some mammals, some reptiles, got a little bit of everything, maybe even some creepy crawlies. So we like to keep it mixed up. We are going to start off with a really cool one called the Harris hawk. It's a hawk species that we can find right here in Texas. He's a really neat, really unique bird. I think everyone's going to really enjoy seeing him.
And believe it or not, this isn't a baby donkey. Hector here is a completely different kind of species.
That's called a Patagonian cavy. They're also called maras. They're from South America and they're rodents. They're the 3rd largest rodent in the world. So they're related to animals like guinea pigs, mice, rats, porcupines. So they're very, very unique. In fact, we don't even have one on exhibit at the zoo.
The Fort Worth Zoo visit furthered the library's mission to provide a service beyond books and information.
We're aiming for entertainment in our community. We're also aiming to tie in with our collections. We'll recommend books that go along with whatever we're doing. Sometimes we do puppet shows, sometimes we do musicians, sometimes we do storytellers, and today we have animals.
And programs like these prove to be beneficial to the community.
It's enriching, it's bringing it to people who maybe can't reach it, and it also exposes our children to a wide variety of different things.
It's so important that kids are able to see wildlife up close in order to gain an appreciation for those animals. And so it's really fun to be able to educate them and let them have that experience of meeting an animal up close, maybe getting a little more personal than you'd be able to get just seeing one at the zoo.
Both children and their parents enjoyed learning about the wild wonders of the Fort Worth Zoo. For About Towne, this is Susan Kamyap.
The Toyota Music Factory opened to a lot of fanfare in 2018, and Camp Gladiator keeps the music pumping for their great Saturday morning workouts. But they got the beat going in the parking lot at the ranch at Las Colinas. Susan Stevens brought us the story.
It's a hot Saturday morning, but it's even hotter for these Camp Gladiator campers who are working up a sweat during a rigorous workout.
Flipping tires, doing the squats, and then jumping up.
This is awesome. I love when they bring the toys out, all kinds of things, different stuff that you do from the ordinary things.
This is fantastic. I always love it when they have the toys. The energy is extra when you have all these people out here.
Camp Gladiator hosted an impact party workout outside the ranch Las Colinas.
We just invited all of our campers to come on out, get an awesome workout with us, and we also told them to bring out their friends, bring out their family, their long-lost cousins to go ahead and come on out and just come and get an awesome workout out here with us.
The ranch manager, Charles Leon, even took part in the action.
The ranch is actually a sponsor of the Irving Marathon, and so I asked some of my staff that belongs to Camp Gladiator if they wanted to run a 5 or 10K with me, and they said they would do it if I participated in a Camp Gladiator.
In an effort to recruit new campers and promote their 4-week cycle camp special, Camp Gladiator had participants do a peak week style workout.
Flipping tires, jump rope, lifting weights, carrying sand bales and throwing them down, all kinds of good stuff.
So the whole idea behind today is that not only do we get creative with equipment, but these guys truly can push their limits so they can start in a progressive state the next week.
Camp Gladiator hosts their workouts at 32 locations in Irving alone. Every workout is self-paced, but working out in a big group like this one tends to give these campers stronger motivation.
A lot of times you get to push yourself just a little bit more whenever there's somebody next to you just doing battle with you. You know what I mean? That's just something kind of cool about it. There's something powerful about it.
You have lots of support here. It's way more than anything I ever thought. It's not a boot camp. They're not yelling at you. It's outdoor fitness training, and I love it.
Being a part of this community workout has truly impacted the health of some longtime campers.
Just ask my doctor, he'll tell you. Not that I was ever in bad shape before, but all my numbers are good. Just staying healthy from working out and doing different exercises and stuff.
I've been doing it for 3 years and 4 months and lost a little bit of weight the first year and a half, changed my nutrition after that. They have a nutrition program. And then I lost 52 pounds. And I've never been happier. I've never been fitter.
While the camp benefits in many ways, families particularly enjoy being able to do a workout together.
We're very much a family-based program. As you can see, there's a lot of kids out here with us today. And you just don't get that camaraderie, in the gym.
How do you like doing this with your mom? It's fun. She encourages me.
Whether it's a workout with family or friends, Camp Gladiator strives to impact the health and physical fitness of every camper. For About Towne, this is Susan Comyog.
Another new event at the Irving Convention Center last summer was the Let's Play Gaming Expo. Gaming fans had such an amazing time, you can count on seeing this event roll back around. Susan Stevens brought us the story.
The Let's Play Gaming Expo has returned to Irving and is setting high scores in the community.
Nearly 6,000 gamers attended the Let's Play Gaming Expo at the Irving Convention Center.
Oh, wonderful. The energy is amazing.
The venue's really nice. There's a lot of vendors, and I always like when there's other games too. It's interesting to be able to spectate.
We have 2 stories filled to the brim of over 100 arcades set free to play. Giant esports arena of huge tournaments going on, over 1,100 competitors, huge vendor hall, as well as upstairs we have tabletop gaming, we have D&D, we have a Chimera lab where you sew together pieces of different plush animals to create your own monster and whatnot. It's just a lot of stuff.
One of the biggest draws to this expo is participating in and seeing the tournaments.
I was watching, for a while when I was younger. To see players that I used to watch and play them and maybe even beat them, it's really interesting. Just I don't know, the difference, I guess.
The Super Smash Bros. Premier Tournament brought out players from all over the world to compete. Tyler Audisho is ranked number 39 globally and explains why he loves playing Smash Bros.
I feel that the freedom you get in this game, you can just move around wherever you want. The combos change so much, and just the excitement, not everything is cut and dry. You never know if you're gonna die or not. There's that surprise factor there.
Various sponsors wanted to get in on the video gaming action by making their booths interactive as well as informative.
LASIK eye center, you have to play the Virtual Boy, which is notorious for making your eyes hurt.
What can the State Farm booth do? So we gave a lot of thought, and then we remembered Burnout. Burnout had a special game where you could take a car, and the idea was to crash the car and create as much damage as possible, and then your high score was the amount of damage you caused. And so finally it clicked, and we were like, you know what, that would be perfect. They're trying to sell insurance. We got a game that's all about crashing cars. Like, I'm sitting here cracking up about it. I still think it's funny.
And of course, there was still hot new merchandise for purchase.
I call them decorations. My husband and I are both IT people, and of course all our friends are IT, and we like to put decorations on our desk, right? But because people would always ask if they could use it for a coaster, I do put a waterproof finish on it, and I've got one here that I just started working on last night for Skyrim. So it's all cut out. I put one coat on it. I have to put two more. Then I color the cork and glue it to the back.
There is one vendor that's doing Pokemon ecosystems. So they're Pokeballs that have little worlds inside of them. And so the top is a clear dome, and you can see them, living in their natural habitat. So that's really cool.
There was something to do anywhere you turned, including the popular Arkham Arcade, which featured rows of old school arcade games guests could play for free, reliving the fun and reminding gamers why they love to play.
It's an escape to an extent, but also it's just like there's like a lot of interesting things. Like some of them are relaxing, some of them are exciting. There's good stories in video games.
I don't know, it just clicked with me.
I love video games because my dad and I used to play video games. Whenever I was little, he would never let me win, and so I just got this really big competitive spirit because of it. And video games is one of the easiest ways for me to express my competitive spirit and my dominance on all my friends.
The Let's Play Gaming Expo once again proved to be a unique, family-friendly gaming experience.
It's for everyone. There should be no way that you can't have fun.
For About Towne, this is Susan Kamyap.
Along with new events, there came a lot of new restaurants. This next story is about a dining establishment that's a little of both. So let's rediscover Lambertes Restaurant.
Lambertes' world-famous fettuccine alfredo is a creamy and flavorful pasta dish that tastes even better than it looks.
It actually comes from Rome. There was and still is, a Ristorante Alfredo in Rome, which is very near and dear to our hearts because every time we go to Rome, we go to Alfredo's. They were the ones who invented fettuccine Alfredo, which is Italian mac and cheese. So it gives us that opportunity to bring back something which is very simple, and most often people overcomplicate it by trying to add cream or add this or that to get that exact flavor profile. And often what it takes is just doing something more simply.
You might remember that E. Fratelli's was once located here on North MacArthur Boulevard. Just a little over a year ago, David Lamberti, who had been working at E. Fratelli's since 1996, decided to run his own Italian restaurant.
We raised money with our family and friends to make an offer to the Cole brothers to continue this concept here as Lambertes Restaurant and Wine Bar.
Even though David was born and raised in Irving, he's able to serve authentic recipes through his Italian roots.
Caesar salad, when you look at it, romaine lettuce. If you fresh cut the romaine lettuce, there's not much you can change with the lettuce. The salad dressing, we looked at it and we tweaked it just a hair. We wanted to add just a little more lemon juice just to make it sure that it was exactly the profile we wanted. And then in the past, we had been purchasing croutons. So instead of that, we have a very nice rustic Italian bread that we use every day. So we make our own croutons now. So we feel that all the stuff we do in-house that is from scratch, including the fresh mozzarella that we make here, to the spaghetti, the meatballs and the sausages and all the things that are handcrafted. We do it the old school way to try to bring in those genuine flavors.
Lambertes serves quality food at a reasonable price, which includes $6 lunch specials, $12 lunch buffet on Sundays, and of course, different featured wines.
Part of what it is to be Italian is to understand it's a little different mindset. It's not what am I going to eat and what am I going to drink? In Italy, it's definitely going to involve wine. So it says which wine is going with the food today. It's a meal. It's always thought of in that manner. So that's why we start every guest with a free sample of wine whenever they come into the restaurant.
Irving is home to David and his family, but it's also a beneficial location for their restaurant.
People who are coming in from East Texas and from Flower Mound will meet here at our restaurant, being so accessible off of 635, George Bush, and 114. We're right here nestled right in the middle of it all.
A convenient location that has customers indulging in a number of inspired recipes made in-house from scratch.
It's very important to us that people come in and have that real flavor of Italy, and also understand that we're not here as a corporate restaurant. We are a family-owned place that's right here in Irving. We're from Irving. I was born here in Irving, but we have a bigger eye for Irving. We want to bring great food at an affordable price that gives them the chance to experience something they may never have had before.
From their hot and fresh pizza and pastas to their eclectic wine selection, there's many reasons to rediscover Lambertes Restaurant and Wine Bar. For About Towne, this is Susan Kamyab.
About to fold all that up and eat it for you.
Liz Rose is known in the music world as a prolific and talented songwriter. But last year, this hometown girl decided to lend her own voice to her beautiful music. The result is a Valentine to Irving called Swimming Alone. Liz talked with us about her music inspired by her hometown.
Without much ado, if you would like to grab that side here.
Oh, okay.
And all we have to do is just give it a yank. You ready?
Yes.
Go.
Go.
And there it is.
And with that, the Texas Musicians Museum unveiled a new exhibit honoring Irving native Liz Rose. Rose has written songs for some of the biggest names in country music.
Taylor Swift, Little Big Town, Blake Shelton, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, and so many more.
And she's earned the industry's top awards.
Her accolades are amazing. 2 Grammys, 1 CMA.
So it's really important and very special for us to be able to recognize these songwriters and give them the honor that they deserve.
She recently released her first solo album, Swimming Alone.
This Irving-born Nashville girl's latest project brought her back home to her roots.
I'll be outside in the backyard swimming alone. I'm outside in the backyard swimming alone.
She shared the stage with some longtime friends.
I'm very excited. I've never, this is the honest truth, I've never done anything off my record with the band. I usually just do singer-songwriter acoustic things.
The music is the backdrop for the song, and that's what we're trying to perfect. We try to create this backdrop.
Paint tunnels and colored chips, plastic flowers and pickup sticks, 45 records and parakeets, and all the penny candy that we could eat.
It's just going to be a night of great music from Texas songwriters.
I know Skip. We went to high school together.
So we have that association of going to the same school, being from the same town, being songwriters.
This is about the house I grew up in.
I wanted to tell those stories about growing up in this town. I grew up in Irving. It was really a great childhood.
Liverpool, tore down the bar, took out the gas grill, taped the farm, sacred ground.
I have so many memories here, and so the record is full of memories from growing up here.
Sister got married under that tree.
It's a deeply personal collection of songs that her fellow musicians say is her best work.
Liz's material is wonderful. I mean, she is an incredible lyricist. She's a poet and just a storyteller. It's a beautiful thing. I have great appreciation.
And Liz Rose feels she's done the work for the best reasons.
It's about making music, and it's about making people feel something and, cry or laugh or party or dance, And that's what really music was made for. It was never about making money. It was really just about lifting people up. So I hope we lift some people up.
And she looked down and smiled and called me honey.
This is Cathy Whiteman reporting.
While I prayed we had enough grocery money.
The Irving Arts Center hosted a tailgate party like no other in late October, bringing together sports fans and comedians. It was a talk show, but full of fun and shenanigans. Here's a look at late night tailgate.
The first one I ever remember crying at, and I mostly was Beaches.
Oh,
okay.
Forget about it.
I was like, am I
Still
a woman? I remember when I was like, she's, and that song, you know, The Wind Beneath My Wings, you put that on and try not to cry.
Irving Arts Center hosted their very first ever late-night tailgate comedy show. The lineup featured an all-pro roster with comedians Steve Rannazzisi, Sarah Tiana, and former NFL quarterback Sage Rosenfels as they mixed stand-up comedy with sports talk.
A lot of it will be topical, stuff that's in the zeitgeist in the news right now, like whether it be Colin Kaepernick, you know, trademarking his hair, or Jason Garrett, since that's a local thing. And then just sports in general, we'll probably make fun of Sage a lot, at least I know I will.
We're gonna have games with the audience, interactive games, we're gonna win prizes, we're gonna make them laugh with stand-up, we're gonna have guests, we're gonna embarrass ourselves.
This was the first time Rosenfels got to blend his knowledge of sports with his love of comedy.
I like to not take myself too seriously. I'm much that way on Twitter. So I try to show some of my personality that I wasn't allowed to really show as a football player, especially as a backup quarterback. It's more of a be seen and not heard mentality. So now that football's done, I can be heard a little bit.
Even though Irving was their debut show, it seemed as though Rosenfels and his fellow cast members already hit it off.
Terrible. Terrible. They're monsters, for the most part. Sarah, not so much. Sage is just, you know, just a diva. He's a backup quarterback. He's used to getting his way.
Sage keeps saying that he can beat anyone in cornhole, and then today, all of a sudden, he was like, well, I don't know the rules. And I was like, oh, so you know how to play your way, not the legal way. So, spoken like a true QB2.
They've been picking on me since I met them this past weekend. So, you know, that's what they do. They're comedians. I'm not sure if I can go toe-to-toe with them yet, so I'll have to get to know them a little bit better, get a little bit more material, then I can, you know, pick on them back. We've had a great time so far. We really have. We're making each other laugh. We're having fun on the road, which is not easy to do. So, yeah, we're having a good time.
The show tackled the biggest topics in sports, as well as touch on current events, pop culture, and played a few special games.
There's an aspect where I think I'm going to play cornhole with somebody from the audience, and if I lose, I have to sing a karaoke song. I'm a terrible singer.
If I
So that's, you know, that's my thing.
should stay, I would only be in your way.
While Rosenfels enjoyed his first time performing, his comedy veteran cast members expressed why they love stand-up.
It's literally the only thing that I can do. It's the only service I can offer to the world. I like it because I need it, like water.
Man, I think there's just nothing better than getting people to laugh at something that you created and that you originated and like came up with on your own.
Late Night Tailgate brought lots of laughs to the Art Center as comedians and athletes joined forces for a hilarious interactive experience.
People get to win prizes, they get to hang out with us. It's a tailgate.
You don't see too many combinations of comedy and sports come together, and that's exactly what this is. If you're watching this, I implore you to come to the show. We're gonna have a great time and it's gonna be fun.
For About Towne, this is Susan Kamyab.
That wraps up this special edition of About Towne, the best of 2018. Thanks for joining us and for all of your support over this past year. We'll leave you tonight with a look at the Irving Black Arts Council's holiday jazz concert, The Rhythms of Christmas. From all of us at ICTN, we wish you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year.
Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer. fun for all. The children call their favorite time of year.